All American and All American Homecoming really have a we hate our main character syndrome and let's put them through the most trauma we can possibly make them go through problem, and that's just sad.
The video you just saw was recorded 2 years ago, and nothing, absolutely nothing, has changed. Let's talk about it.
Hey all, how are y'all? It's me, Elaha. Hey guys, and welcome back or welcome to Elements of Elaha, where I talk about things that interest me, affect me, or am very passionate about. And in today's video, I'm just going to be wrapping up my thoughts on the All-American universe by talking about some leftover thoughts I have about All-American and All-American Homecoming. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So like I said in that first video you saw, is All-American and All-American Homecoming have a we hate our main character problem. So I've seen the recent synopsises that have been coming out for the remainder of season 6 of All-American. Originally it was supposed to have 13 episodes, and then they were given 2 more episodes so they can end off on 15 episodes. And just seeing the absolute nonsense that they're doing, where Spencer is now starting to feel like a side character in his own show, when the show originally was based off the life of Spencer Paysinger making it to the NFL. I don't even know if Spencer is in the writer's room anymore, but it's like giving a show about football to a showrunner that doesn't prioritize football or doesn't like writing football. Like, how are we gonna have a whole NFL championship episode, a whole 100 episode, focus the first half on Spencer, and then you want it to be focused on Asher? Asher? Of all people? And he's not coming back to football, so that was just a waste of 20 minutes. And then we didn't even get like a big championship kiss or anything from Spolivia. Like, I'm just tired. And so when I thought that we were finally going to be released from the shackles that was All-American these recent seasons, the show got renewed for a season 7. Like, I should be celebrating because this is one of the last teen dramas and Black shows to make it past the 100 episode mark, especially on the CW. But I'm just tired. The only reason why I'm still watching the show is because of Spencer and Olivia. I am so tired of the show and the universe in general. I'm so tired. I started watching this show when the first 2 seasons were on Netflix, so already I knew season 3 was coming out. When the show got renewed for season 4, I was so happy. Before season 4B came out, that's when the show got renewed for season 5. I was still so happy it got renewed for season 5. And then seeing the nonsense that was season 5. Then last summer when it got renewed for season 6, I was like, why? Why now? After that garbage season, they got renewed for another season? So I was like, okay, fine. The CW has taken most of my shows anyway, so I'll just decide to tune in for the show. So a whole bunch of nonsense, but again, because Daniel and Sam are so good at their job, I'll be staying. But season 7, they're teasing a whole new generation thing. And again, if Spencer James and Olivia Baker aren't there, it's doomed to fail. Please pull the plug. And during that summer, when it came to All American Homecoming, now I mostly watched All American Homecoming because one, Simone was the lead. Simone was one of my favorite recurring characters on All American. And for her to go from a recurring character to a lead on her own show, I was really excited for that. And then two, it was taking place at an HBCU and it added to the limited amount of college shows that we have in this day and age, and honestly in general. So when the show came out, I'm gonna be honest, I did have a hard time getting through the show because it really seems like a whole bunch of recycled storylines from the original show. All the times where I see so much tweets talking about, oh, All American Homecoming is better than All American. All American Homecoming is better than All American. And I'm just like, are we watching the same show? As long as Nkechi Okoro Carroll is the showrunner, no, it'll never be. You say All American Homecoming is better than All American, yet not a lot of people are tuning into the show. And they're like, who's still watching All American? As somebody that has watched more episodes of All American live on Mondays, out of the 101 episodes that have come out, I have tuned in for 69 of them. I vowed to myself, after seeing that Garbage season 4 finale, I was never going to rewatch the show again on Netflix. So you would think the same people that were complaining about All American not being good are the same people making it go #1 on Netflix every time a new season drops. That's crazy to me. Yet when All American Homecoming came on Netflix, I think at most it reached like #7 when season 2 came out, and then it fell off after about a week. But All American was #1 for about a month. Yeah, because I remember when season 3 came out and it was going head to head with Outer Banks, and then season 4 was going like head to head with Stranger Things, and then season 5 did really well. So it's like after season 4A, the senior skip day episode, the show really fell off. So I was thinking, okay, people are gonna stop watching the show, but no, nobody's more excited for All American than the people that tune into it on streaming. Because us that tune in every week, oh no, we have suffered. We have suffered. And that's the main reason why All American is getting a season 7, because it does well on Netflix. That's it. And then people that are comparing All American Homecoming, saying it's better than All American, will say it's better than All American season 5. A lot of things were better than All American season 5, Buki. That's a very, very low bar to compare it to. Like, compared to the first 3 seasons of All American Homecoming is not touching All American, and it never will. The viewership says otherwise, honey. So, if you don't know what All American Homecoming is about, I will read the synopsis here. All American Homecoming is a young adult sports drama set against the backdrop of the HBCU, aka historically Black colleges and universities. Experience at Princeton University, where Black excellence is a way of life. The series follows Simone, a young tennis hopeful from Beverly Hills who is trying to fight her way back after some time away from the court. Damon, an elite baseball player from Chicago who's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. JR, Damon's fellow baseball player and childhood friend. Thea, the super competitive queen bee of the Bringston tennis team, and Keisha, the school's unofficial mayor who must help Simone learn how to live her best life. As they contend with the high stakes of college sports, Simone and Damon must also navigate the highs and lows of unsupervised early adulthood at a prestigious HBCU. And I feel like the first thing they messed up on was making the show have co-leads, because the only one that gets the main character treatment out of Simone and Damon is Damon. Simone Hicks does not get that main character treatment. We have known Simone since season 2 of All American that came out back in 2019, and we still don't know anything new about Simone pre-pregnancy. The only thing that we knew about Simone were the things that was already fleshed on in Homecoming. So when we first meet Simone, she is pregnant, and we thought that it was Jordan's kid, but it turned out to be Dane's kid. And of course, she would lie because Dane is an absolute piece of crap. But besides all that turmoil, I still love seeing Jamon's relationship. I really did like Simone and Jordan's relationship. And obviously, once the show got greenlit, we can tell that was going on a roller coaster downhill. I feel like they should have just had Simone and Jordan break up after they graduated high school, because the whole emotional cheating thing and the whole gaslighting thing that they tried to do with their relationship just wasn't good. I didn't enjoy that at all, honestly. But the only things that we know about Simone Hicks was that she's from Beverly Hills. She's a teen mom. Her and Jordan Baker were in a long-term relationship for 2 years, and before she got pregnant, she played tennis. That is all we knew about Simone. So I was thinking, okay, now that she gets a show where it's supposed to be focused on her life, it's supposed to dive more into who she was before we met her on screen, right? Now, the only things they give Simone in this show that are new are anxiety and her sorority, which is PKZ. And it really makes me grateful for season 1 of All American, because we got to know Spencer as the show kept going on, and we also got to have good old flashbacks and flashback episodes dedicated to what Spencer's life was like before we met him on screen, whether that's through the relationship with his dad, what happened before he moved to Crenshaw, his friends, his past relationships. But Simone got none of that. I feel like we could have given like Simone a friend. We could have dove into her family life. They could have done more with her and her aunt's relationship. Just like so much family and friendship dynamics they could have like expanded upon, and that just didn't happen. Simone also doesn't have that close relationship with her tennis coach, Coach Lonnie, like Spencer did with Billy. But on the other hand, Damon has that with Coach Marcus. We don't even know what Simone is majoring in, and she's supposed to be the main character. We know so much more about these other characters that were just introduced 2-3 years ago than Simone that we've known for 5 years. Hello? What's not clicking? What's not clicking? Can you believe they had Simone miss her prom only for them to not have her go on a freshman orientation tour? Her coach doesn't like her and her teammates don't like her. And her mama was so pissed off that she cut her off financially and her dad didn't grow some balls to try and help her. Shouts out on Tamara. Like, my baby deserves better. I'm so tired. She really deserves better. When it came to expansions on their family life, their friendships, and athletic lives, Damon got all those things, and we've known him for less time than Simone, who we've known longer. then it's like they want to make her the female Spencer, but they don't want to put in the work into actually giving Simone the proper development and backstory that she needs as a protagonist. Then my next thing is, why is literally everybody against Simone when all she does is literally be a sweetheart? She literally gets treated like a doormat. She gets called out of her name, and she's blamed for a lot of stuff when all she's trying to do is be nice. When it comes to helping Damon with his adoptive family and biological family, all the stuff he had going on during season 1, when it came to Simone and JR not telling Damon about the whole thing that was going on with his like adoptive parents and adoptive family, who they blame again? Simone. When whose fault is it really? His daddy, Xavier. That's really Xavier's fault. Then the next thing was Thea's birthday episode. The main reason why their other tennis teammates did not want to hang out with Thea is because Thea is not nice to anybody. So when Simone was like, okay, I want to do something nice for Thea, even though all Thea has done is be mean to me. Let me plan her a birthday party, and guess what? No one showed up. And who'd they blame for that again? Simone. You see, I knew you should have just left that alone. Why do you try to embarrass me? Da 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 da.
What the hell?
And then when it came to Thea's injury in the end of season 1, where she injured her shoulder because Simone's tennis racket was heavier than hers. And the thing is, Simone didn't put a gun to Thea's head and said, you have to take my tennis racket. Honestly, you should have forfeited it. If you didn't have your racket, it's okay. There's going to be other tennis circuits. You could have literally forfeited it. But Simone was being nice. She's like, okay, you can use my racket. Even though you knew Simone's racket has a different weight than yours, you didn't see an issue with that. Next thing you know, she injures her shoulder, and who does she blame for that? Simone. When Simone wanted to do something nice for Keisha's late mom's birthday and it ended up backfiring, who did they blame for that? Simone. And when it came to PKZ, they forced Simone to put flyers up for Nico's campaign, knowing that Nate is her best friend and it's gonna make Simone seem like the villain. It's like, damn, can't y'all come up with something else? Like, give my girl a break. She didn't force you to use the racket. You did that on your own will. And then what does she do? Season 2 literally turns the whole tennis team against Simone, and Thea don't even like y'all. And so anytime Simone decides to stand up for herself, the tennis team literally will be icing her out. Thea can call her out of her name, and when Simone decides to stand up for herself, all of a sudden it's, oh, Simone, this isn't you. You should leave him alone. Da 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 da. So when it comes to all these other girls terrorizing Simone on the tennis team, they can do that. But when Simone finally decides to stand up for herself, that's an issue. These people are the same age. Why do they get to act immature and Simone doesn't? And these same people that treat Simone like crap expect her to be Angela Davis. Like, she still has to give people pep talks. When it comes to protesting what's going on in the school or in the tennis team, she has to lead those protests and be a motivational speaker to everybody. The same tennis team that was giving her crap all season, when they got racially profiled in that bus episode, Simone still had to be the one that was the leader standing up for everybody. When it came to the bomb threat episode, who was the one playing motivational speaker even though she was just as scared and traumatized? Simone. When it came to Bringston needing money for the fundraisers or the match in the season 2 finale. Both of the finales had to do with Simone raising money for something and them meeting their goal in order for them to stay afloat. She still had to be the lead of those things, yet she's dealing with so much in her personal life. So if you want to hear my thoughts on the relationships on the show, I am going to link my Ranking Black Ships playlist. I talk about All-American Homecoming ships in part 1 and the first half of part 2. Check them out. They're some of my favorite videos on this channel. But another thing I wanted to talk about is how they handle sports in the show. Because for a show that's supposed to be about a sports drama, they sure love not having their athletes play their sports. So Cam was one of the OG All-American characters to come on All-American Homecoming, and literally the second episode into the show, he gets a brain aneurysm. So he can't play football again. Yet he came to Brixton University on a scholarship, and y'all give him a brain aneurysm so he can't play football again. And so since the other sport that takes place on the show other than tennis is baseball, I was thinking, okay, they had Cam play baseball for an episode, at least have him play baseball. They decide to make this man into the next John Legend. Are you kidding me? And then season 2, when Simone finally makes the top 6, all the time, for the stupidest reasons, they always try to take that away. One of the main ones I can reference was when Simone had used Nate's THC lotion, so her spot was taken away. That was so stupid. And then when it came to them getting racially profiled in the penultimate episode before the season 2 finale, they literally got racially profiled on their way to the tennis game. So they ended up missing the match. And so they had to sign NDAs talking about, oh, they cannot discuss what happened to them on that bus, so they couldn't play tennis there. And then in that same episode, the baseball team was playing their final baseball game and they didn't even win. So you have 2 L's in the same episode, and yet this is supposed to be a sports drama. And most of the times where they can't play the sports, it's for stupid reasons. And then, like in true NK fashion, the characters cannot be happy for more than 2 episodes. I'm pretty sure the only joyful episodes they had in like season 2 were the Black Joy Day episode and the Masquerade episode. Other than that, it was just trauma, 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 and more trauma. The next thing I want to reference was when the main characters were dealing with the illness and it seems like they beat it. It always comes back in season 2. Like in All-American when Olivia was celebrating her year sobriety anniversary, only for them to play with her sobriety in that season 2 finale where she starts drinking again. And in season 2, where JR celebrates his 10-year remission anniversary from aplastic anemia, only for that to come back in the season 2 finale. Then another thing I wanted to mention was the whole thing of killing off the black dads in season 2 when they start mending their relationship with their sons. Once Spencer started mending his relationship with his dad, Corey, what does NK go do? Kill him off. The same thing happens in season 2 with Damon and his adoptive dad also dying in season 2. Another thing, South Crenshaw's future was at stake, at risk of it being converted into a magnet school. What happened in the All-American Homecoming season 1 finale? Brixton is at risk of closing due to them not having enough funds for the next school year. Spencer's teammates having animosity towards him for being just naturally talented and working hard for what he has. Damon's teammates being salty and envious of him for being talented
and famous.
and envious of what he has. Asher taking steroids in season 2, which led to him and Olivia's first breakup, and Thea using cortisone shots after her season 1 injury. The most random career pivots. Coop going from gangsta to rapper to lawyer, and Cam going from football to music. And there's so many other dumb things that they have done in the show. But really the season 2 finale pissed me off, because if the show hadn't got renewed for a season 3, it would have went down in history as one of the worst series finales of all time. Because not only did they drag that love triangle out to the literal end of the episode, we didn't see who Simone picked. Then we had JR celebrating his 10-year remission anniversary, only for them to bring back his aplastic anemia. And then we had Marcus go through this whole push and pull thing with Amara, only for it to be revealed that this mofo had a whole wife. You made my auntie Amara a sidekick at her big age. If they were gonna do that, they literally should have just kept her with Zeke. Then, if they were gonna have Thea go pro, what was the whole point of her antagonizing Simone and then getting the other people on the team to antagonize Simone? There was no point in that. But knowing how all-American the universe is, probably something is going to happen where she stays there for the rest of her college career and she doesn't end up going pro after her sophomore year. And then learning Thea was a sophomore, originally I thought Thea was a junior, but then her being a sophomore makes so much sense, because if it's anybody that has way too much time on their hands, it's sophomores. Sophomores literally are the people that will be antagonizing freshmen. Juniors have to worry about so much hard tests and hardships. And then seniors, basically, they're just focused on figuring what's the next step after this school. So her being a sophomore makes more sense. Sophomores have more time to just be antagonizing freshmen for no reason. But the whole thing of this whole thing with Simone, Damon, and Thea is I don't like how Nate will be trying to kind of gaslight Simone and prop it up like Simone is doing something wrong. They always make it seem like, oh my gosh, Thea is supposed to be the antagonist, and yet when Simone calls her out on it, she's like, oh, Simone, you've been coming for me. Are we watching the same show? Are we rereading the same scripts? Because all Simone did was try and have a good time, and here comes Thea being like, girl, this is my court. Just being stank and nasty to her for no reason. So Nate is the one that's friends with Thea, even after Thea had called Simone out her name and all that. And so Nate was trying to be like, oh yeah, if you pursue a relationship with Damon, it's going to be messy for you and Thea when Thea and Simone aren't friends. And then Nate was trying to be like, oh, that doesn't make your boots any less messy. When Damon wouldn't have even been in a relationship with Thea if he had known that Jordan and Simone had broken up. So it's just like, that doesn't make any sense. They're not friends. So stop trying to use your friendship with Thea and project that onto Simone. Don't do that. Don't do that. So they released the trailer for season 3, which is now the final season of Homecoming. And honestly, thank God, because the show didn't need to be running for super long. Look at All American. It used to be one of my favorite shows, and now every time we get a new season, I'm like, when will you put us out of our misery? But people keep watching the show, so here we are. But my hopes for this next season is, please, I beg, take it easy on Simone. If they do anything to try and disturb Simone's peace and happiness, I think you'll see why I made this video, because they literally just hate Simone for no reason. And then seeing how the trailer is gonna go, since they want to keep the show going with All American, they did that year and 3 month time jump. I think probably what ended up happening, since both Peyton Alex Smith, who plays Damon, and Kelly Jenrette, who plays Simone's aunt Amara, I think what had happened was probably she had chosen Damon, but with this whole cast change and everything, her and Lando are probably going to work their way up to being the endgame ship. I hope Cam and Keisha had broken up. I hope Nate and her love interest, Ryan, are still together. JR and Gabby, besides Bolivia, are like the only other ship in the All-American universe that needs to get married. Marcus needs to be stoned, or just at least get a big old yansh whooping for what he did to Amara. What else? What else? We need it to be focused on more college joy. Where's the parties? More sorority stuff. More of that. Family dinners need to come back. It's not too late to give Simone some more backstory. You know what? Bring her parents back. Maybe introduce a friend from her old childhood days. I want to know what she's majoring in. Stuff like that. But most of all, I just want proper closure, because the writers have this habit of making the show end on as much cliffhangers as possible. That way they can secure another season. And when it comes to shows with a black lead, that usually ends up failing. So you can't really rewatch the show because it has a crappy ending. So I just hope that they really intend on writing this season as a final season, and they don't do any more bad things to Simone. Like, leave that girl alone. Leave her alone. Like, she really just, I feel like this show really would have just done better had it had a different showrunner. Because then I could say it's better because you don't have a showrunner that's obsessed with black struggle and black trauma. But yeah, that's just not the case. I will give her her 10s for us having like the first like all black cast on the CW, but with the crappy storylines they give them, they really just deserve better. But anyways, y'all, that is the end of the video. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe, and check out my last video right here. Anyways, y'all, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.